Hi guys. So today I will introduce you with a concept in ratio analysis which is called as pyramid of ratios. Okay. So you see what we do is that we create an entire pyramid of ratios. Because we have yesterday in our previous two classes we have looked at current ratio, quick ratios and all that stuff. But all of them should add up together, right? So I'm thinking that this is the right time to introduce you to pyramid of ratios. Okay. So you see, on the top of the pyramid, you start with return on equity as a ratio, right? And return on equity is again classified into sub-classified into three ratios. One is net profit ratio, other is total assets to equity ratio, and the asset turnover ratio. So if you add up all three ratios, it will become the return on equity ratios figure, right? Then these are called as primary ratios. These four ratios are called as primary ratios. Then next we'll move next to uh, one second, secondary ratios. So what are secondary ratios? These are subparts of these primary ratios, which is capital structure impact ratio, tax ratio, PPE to capital asset turnover ratio, working capital turnover ratio, and EBITDA margin ratio, right? This is the second level of ratio analysis, which is called as secondary ratio analysis. Okay. The third portion of it is your territorial ratios, right? We'll move on to the next slide, is territory ratios, which is again subpart of these secondary ratios, which is gross margin ratios, sales and administrative ratio, payable turnover ratio, inventory turnover ratio, right? Departmental depreciation and amortization ratio, R&D ratio, receivable turnover, cash turnover ratios, right? All these are your territorial ratio, which are subpart of your secondary ratios. And then you come up with your final ratio analysis, right? And then what we do is we bifurcate again these ratios into solvency ratios and liquidity ratios also, right? So this type of analysis, when you do, this becomes your complete ratio analysis, right? I'm trying my level best to cover this one by one in part, but it is always good to go ahead and do a 2-3 hours of session on ratio analysis only to cover these things in a comprehensive way, right? So in case you want it, please put up on the WhatsApp or on the YouTube comment box. I will plan for a 2 to 3 hour session on the ratio analysis, right? As a next step, we will try to build some of these ratios in our class. Thank you very much.